Imagine the shock of learning that your hard-earned Social Security benefits are being mismanaged in ways you never thought possible. Scams, duplicate records, and even fraudulent claims could be threatening the very system that's supposed to protect you in retirement. But what if I told you that this isn't just a theory, it's a reality? Today, we're unveiling the truth behind the $100 billion Social Security scam that has been hiding in plain sight for years. So, who's to blame? Let's start with an alarming revelation from none other than Elon Musk. Yes, you read that right. The tech mogul recently posted about duplicate Social Security numbers and the overpayments that are plaguing the system. Musk even mentioned that millions of deceased individuals were still receiving Social Security benefits. It's no surprise that this bombshell caused a stir. But, let's pump the brakes and take a closer look at these claims to separate fact from fiction. Now, you may be wondering, who am I to challenge Musk's claims? Well, my name is Ed Weir, and I've spent years working within the Social Security system. I once ran the third busiest Social Security office in the nation, and today, I help people nationwide navigate the complexities of their benefits. If you've ever had questions about retirement, survivor, or spouse benefits, you've come to the right place. In fact, I host a live Q&A every day to answer your burning questions and ensure you're getting everything you deserve. But let's dive into this tangled web of Social Security issues, duplicate Social Security numbers, myth or reality. Let's first tackle the duplicate Social Security number issue. Elon Musk's tweet about multiple people having the same number stirred up a frenzy. So, is it true that people are receiving benefits under duplicate numbers? Not exactly. Yes, there were incidents in the past when duplicate numbers existed, especially in the old days before everything went digital. But let's be clear, while there may have been occasional mix-ups in the records, these were not duplicate payments. Social Security numbers are tracked and stored in a centralized electronic system, known as the Numitant and MBR, Master Beneficiary Record. The idea of multiple people receiving payments under the same number is simply false. The reality is that duplicate records were more common in the pre-electronic era. For example, in the 1930s when a company called Woolworth started selling wallets with Social Security cards inside them. Unfortunately, this resulted in over 40,000 people unknowingly using the same Social Security number. However, this issue was fixed years ago. And it's unlikely you'll encounter such a problem today, but don't just take my word for it, the system is much better now. When discrepancies are found, Social Security workers work diligently to correct the records and ensure that only the rightful beneficiary receives the correct payments. The truth behind deceased Social Security beneficiaries. Now, let's move on to the more troubling issue, the claim that millions of deceased individuals are still receiving Social Security benefits. While this story seems sensational, it's not entirely accurate. Here's the truth. 6.2 million deceased records in the Social Security database aren't necessarily fraud, as some claim. These records exist because the Social Security Administration cannot simply delete a record without proper documentation. In other words, a death certificate is required to update the record and stop any further payments. Let's break this down further. The issue with these records has been around for decades. Social Security cannot make a deceased individual's record inactive until they receive confirmation of death, usually from a funeral home or coroner's office. It's a frustrating bureaucratic process, but it's not indicative of rampant fraud. In fact, when people claim there's fraud involved, they're often overlooking the simple reality that these benefits aren't actually being paid out to the deceased. They're more like inactive records that haven't been updated. This issue has existed for so long because lawmakers haven't taken the necessary steps to correct the system. The bigger picture, is Social Security really at risk? So, what's the bigger picture here? Why are these issues being blown out of proportion? The truth is that politicians and corporate interests have been quietly working behind the scenes to undermine Social Security. It's all part of a long-standing plan to dismantle the system, deprive seniors of their benefits, and eventually hand it all over to Wall Street. The key to destroying Social Security is not through outright attacks, but through a slow and steady erosion. By creating a crisis where people lose faith in the system, they can justify the privatization of Social Security and the elimination of the safety net. And they're doing it effectively by spreading fear and mistrust through stories of fraud, duplication, and mismanagement. How do we protect Social Security? It's time we stop buying into the distractions. Yes, Social Security has challenges, the trust fund is running out, and we need to find sustainable solutions. One of the most straightforward ways to fix the system is to raise the cap on Social Security taxes. Right now, if you earn more than $176,100 annually, you stop paying into Social Security on those additional earnings. This policy benefits the wealthy, who contribute less to the system than middle-class workers. The solution? Raise or remove the cap entirely, ensuring that billionaires and high earners pay their fair share. This simple change could help protect Social Security for generations to come. Final thoughts. The real threat to Social Security. To conclude, we cannot afford to let misinformation cloud our judgment about Social Security. The real threat is not from fraudulent claims or duplicate numbers, it's from politicians and billionaires who want to privatize the system and take the benefits away from the very people who need it most. We need to stand strong and demand that our elected officials protect the future of Social Security. Let's focus on real solutions, like raising the cap and reforming the way Social Security is funded. Stay informed, stay engaged, and most importantly, don't let the distractions stop you from fighting for your benefits.